Thank you, Mr. Maddie. Mr. Maddie can't hear. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Sorry about that. Mike was muted. What's that about? We had technical difficulties getting this whole stream, so we're running a little late. But we made it. We're here. And tonight we're going to be discussing From Dusk Till Dawn from 1996. Directed by Robert Rodriguez, written by Quentin Tarantino, and also starring Quentin Tarantino. What's that about? And I count this among Quentin Tarantino's works, his oeuvre, because he was on set every day, and he was friends with Robert Rodriguez, and I'm absolutely certain he was behind the camera a lot, and he is at the very least, an unofficial co-director, an uncredited co-director, if not the actual director of this movie. It's very much a Quentin Tarantino movie. Rage 10 says hello, everyone. Greetings, Rage. Movie also stars George Clooney in his big screen debut. I mean, it's funny when you think about George Clooney. He's like comes to mind as a movie star, but he was not a movie star when this movie came out. He was a TV star, and he decided. But this movie is to George Clooney what Die Hard was to Bruce Willis. It helped his transition to the big screen. Mr. Maddie says, can hear you now. Would you ever consider doing live streams on Cyberpunk 2077 or Alan Wake? Probably not Cyberpunk 2077 because it's first person and I hate first person. Alan Wake, I don't know about. A 2010 action-adventure game developed by Remedy Entertainment. Oh, for 13 years he's been a prisoner in a dark place. No, that's Alan Wake 2. Uncovered the mystery behind his wife's disappearance during a vacation in the small fictional town of Bright Falls, Washington. All while experiencing events from the plot of his latest novel, which he cannot remember writing. Coming to life. Mr. Maddie says, perfect for Halloween. I have Halloween plans. We're going to do an Undead Nightmare stream. Hold on. I'm getting us set up for From Dusk Till Dawn. What was I going to say? Yeah, today we're doing From Dusk Till Dawn. Friday is the Bad Honor full game commentary. Saturday is LA Noire. Sunday, I'm not sure what we're going to do. It's Sinister Sundays. Something Halloween related, I'm sure. We'll probably take Wednesday off because we're going to do a Thursday Halloween birthday stream. And then we'll just continue with the regular weekend schedule, which is up here. We will be doing a kung fu video game called Sleeping Dogs after we finish L.A. Noire. Rage 10, probably not. Okay, let's talk about From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh, actually, I do know what we're going to do on Sunday. On Sunday, we're going to do a discussion of Michael Jackson's Thriller video. But let's talk about From Dusk Till Dawn. From Dusk Till Dawn is a 1996 American action horror film directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Quentin Tarantino from a concept and story by Robert Kurtzman, starring Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Ernest Liu, and Juliette Lewis. The plot follows a pair of American criminal brothers, the Gecko brothers, Clooney and Tarantino, who take a family as hostages. Harvey Keitel, Ernest Lou and Juliette Lewis in order to cross into Mexico, but ultimately find themselves trapped in a saloon. It's technically a bath lady house, defending against a horde of vampires. From Dusk Till Dawn premiered on January 17th, 1996 at the Cinerama Dome Theater in Hollywood, Los Angeles, and was released on January 19th in the United States. It initially received mixed reviews from critics who described the film as well-made, if overly violent. After enjoying financial success at the box office, From Dusk Till Dawn has since become a cult film and spawned a media franchise of sequel films, a video game, and other media adaptations. I didn't know there was a video game. Moving on to the plot. Fugitive bank robbers Seth and Richie Gecko. Seth is George Clooney, and Richie is Quentin Tarantino. Hold up a liquor store, Benny's World of Liquor, killing clerk Pete Bottoms and Texas Ranger Earl McGraw in a shootout. They inadvertently destroy the building as they leave. At an inn room where they are hiding out, Seth returns from getting food to find that Richie has R-worded and canceled a bank clerk they had taken hostage. Much to his anger, that bank clerk is Quentin Tarantino's acting coach. Jacob Fuller, a pastor experiencing a crisis of faith, Harvey Keitel, brought on by the death of his wife, is on vacation with his teenage children Scott and Kate in their RV. They stop at the inn and are kidnapped by the Gecko brothers, who force the Fuller family to struggle them over the Mexican border. In Mexico, they arrive at the Titty Twister, a strip club in the desert, where the Gecko brothers will be met by their contact, Carlos, at dawn. Carlos will escort them to the sanctuary at El Rey, which means the king. Ramon Sanchez is here. Greetings, Ramon. I was just thinking about you, old friend. Shout out to Ramon Sanchez. A place of safety for fugitives from justice whose admission fee is 30% of everything they have. When Richie complains to Seth that this is too high, Seth tells him it is non-negotiable. When they come to the bar, the bartender, played by Danny Trejo, a super young Danny Trejo, but everyone in this movie is super young and super skinny. The bartender refuses to serve them and orders them to leave, telling them that only bikers and truckers are welcome. They don't like or welcome outsiders in the bar. Jacob, however, tells the bartender that he's a truck driver because he drives an RV, convincing him to let them stay. Seth, resentful that he wasn't considered good enough to enter at first, takes a violent dislike to the bikers and truckers. During a bar fight, the bar employees reveal themselves as vampires and kill most of the patrons. Richie is bitten by a stripper, Santanico Pandemonium, portrayed by Salma Hayek, and dies, but Seth manages to cancel her by shooting at a chandelier above that impales her. Only Seth, Jacob, Kate, Scott, a biker named Sex Machine, played by famed makeup artist Tom Savini, and Frost, a Vietnam War veteran, shout out to Papa One, survive. The others are reborn as vampires, including Richie, forcing the survivors to cancel them all. When an army of vampires in bat form assembles outside, the survivors lock themselves inside, but Sex Machine is bitten, becomes a vampire, and bites Frost and Jacob. Frost throws Sex Machine through the door, allowing the vampires to enter, while Frost turns into a vampire. Seth, Kate, and Scott escape to a storeroom, followed shortly by an injured but still alive Jacob, brandishing a shotgun. In the storeroom, they fashion weapons from the truck cargo the vampires have looted from past victims, including a stake mounted on a pneumatic drill, a crossbow, and holy water water balloons, which requires Jacob to recover his faith, to bless. Jacob, knowing he will soon become a vampire, makes Scott and Kate promise to kill him when he changes. The group makes their final assault on the undead. Sex Machine mutates into a large rat-like creature and attacks Seth, but is cancelled. Sorry, algorithm. Jacob becomes a vampire, but Scott hesitates to cancel him, allowing Jacob to bite him. Scott cancels him, but then is overwhelmed by vampires who begin to devour him. He begs for death, and Kate, his sister, Juliette Lewis, who was dating Brad Pitt at the time, cancels him. As vampires surround Kate and Seth, streams of morning light enter through the bullet holes in the building, making the vampires back away. Carlos arrives and his bodyguards blast open the door, letting in the sunlight, which kills the vampires. Seth chastises Carlos for his poor choices of meeting place and negotiates a smaller tribute for his admission to El Rey. Kate asks Seth if he wants her to go with him to El Rey, but he refuses, apparently concerned for her safety, leaving her with some cash. Kate drives away in the RV, leaving the titty twister behind, which is revealed to be the top of an 8-level, partially buried Aztec temple. Yes, and these are Mexican vampires, Aztec vampires. That's certainly Robert Rodriguez's influence. They're more snake-like and bat-like than traditional European vampires. And they have green blood. What's that about? Yeah, Brenda Hillhouse, the hostage Gloria Hill. That was Quentin Tarantino's old acting coach. Development. From Dusk Till Dawn was conceived by Robert Kurtzman, who wrote the film's initial treatment in 1988, to create work for his co-founded special effects and prosthetic makeup studio, K&B EFX Group. Quickly going through Robert Kurtzman's filmography, From Beyond, Night of the Creeps, Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Predator, Evil Dead, Phantasm 2, Halloween 5, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, Bride of Reanimator, Dances with Wolves, The Exorcist 3, Tales from the Dark Side. He's been in lots and lots of movies. John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter's Vampires, the House on Haunted Hill remake, 13 Ghosts, Cabin Fever, Bad Boys 2, Tremors 4, The Legend Begins, Buried Alive, and his latest movie was 2019's Dr. Sleep. Actually, no, he was Dr. Sleep. His latest movie is, I haven't heard of him, The Last Days of Ptolemy Gray, and Kilroy Was Here. But yeah, he does special makeup effects. In 1990, K&B hired Quentin Tarantino to write the script. Mama One is here. Everyone say hi to Mama One. Greetings, Mama One. Sadie's here. She's under the desk. She's afraid of vampires. She doesn't like vampires. What's that about? Hold on a second. What happened to our video? There. Papa One is here as well. Greetings, Papa One. In 1990, K&B hired Quentin Tarantino to write the script as his first paid writing assignment, who agreed to write the screenplay for $1,500 and an agreement to have K&B provide the makeup for Reservoir Dogs. Legend has it that Quentin Tarantino wrote this when he was still working at his at the video store. He was still a video clerk. Mama One says, "Hey Sadie, hope my special girl is well." I believe she's well. I think she's happy. I think she had a good day. Kurtzman originally wanted to direct From Dusk Till Dawn, but as he had never directed a feature before on top of the film's violence and unusual narrative, he could not secure the interest of a studio, despite their initial proposed budget of $1 to $2 million. Sometime after the release of Pulp Fiction, Tarantino approached Miramax and stated that his next project would be From Dusk Till Dawn, albeit with Robert Rodriguez, whom he had met earlier and thought his style was perfect for the film project directing. Miramax agreed, and shooting began in the summer of 1994. The El Rey hideout in Mexico was taken from The Getaway, a 1958 crime novel by Jim Thompson. Earl McGraw became a recurring character in Rodriguez and Tarantino's works, later appearing in Kill Bill, Planet Terror, and Death Proof. Chango Beer and Sex Machine's Codpiece Gun are references to Rodriguez's 1999 film Desperado. Seth also returns to the hotel with Big Kahuna burgers, which were used in Pulp Fiction and mentioned in Death Proof. Seth Gecko also says the line, "All right, Ramblers, let's get ramblin'," a quote from Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs. Scott's t-shirt decoration reads Precinct 13, a reference to John Carpenter's 1976 film Assault on Precinct 13. And Salma Hayek's character, Santanico Pandemonium, is a reference to the 1975 nunsploitation film of the same name. I had no idea that was a movie. I thought they'd made that up for the film. Let's look it up. Santanico movie. A Mexican 1975 nunsploitation horror film. Sister Maria lives with the convent for her charity works, but in the secret depths of her fantasies, she becomes agonized by visions from another world, a world in which she is permitted to run free. In this world, Satan is her lord, and her acts of violence and blasphemy mount. Sister Maria realizes that she is elected by the devil himself to destroy the convent and lead her sister nuns into hell. Only the devil can intuit the dark secrets of her tortured mind. That sounds pretty awesome. Let's see. Critical reception. We're also going to read Roger Ebert's review from the time. On the review, Rotten Tomatoes is 63%. I have this film on Blu-ray. That's how much I love it. The website's consensus reads, a pulpy crime drama vampire film hybrid. From Dusk Till Dawn is an uneven but often deliriously enjoyable B-movie. Roger Ebert, well, we'll talk about Roger Ebert later. New York Times' Janet Maslin wrote, the latter part of From Dusk Till Dawn is so relentless that it's as if a spigot has been turned on and then broken. Though some of the tricks are entertainingly staged, the film loses its clever edge when its action heats up so gruesomely and exploitatively that there's no time for talk. Entertainment Weekly gave the film a B rating, and Owen Gleiberman wrote, Rodriguez and Tarantino have taken the let-em-eat trash cynicism of modern corporate movie making and repackaged it as a junk-conscious attitude. Well, that's a backhanded compliment, if I've heard one. And From Dusk Till Dawn, they put on such a show of cooking up popcorn. I really would like some popcorn, thank you. That they make pandering to the audience seem hip. In his review for the Washington Post, Desson Howe wrote, the movie, which treats you with contempt for even watching it, I disagree, is a monument to its own lack of imagination. It's a triumph of vile over content, mindless nihilism posing as hipness. Well, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Cinefantastique magazine Steve Biodrowski wrote, whereas one might reasonably have expected that the combo of Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez would yield a critical mass of nuclear proportions instead of an atomic fireball's worth of entertainment, we get a long fuse, quite a bit of frizzle, and a rather minor blast. In his review for the San Francisco Chronicle, Mick LaSalle called the film an ugly, unpleasant, criminals on the lam film that midway turns into a boring and completely repellent vampire comedy. It's not one of the worst films of 1996. If it's not one of the worst films of 1996, it will have been one miserable year. Mama One, I love barbecue potato chips. I can't remember the last time I've had them, regrettably. In Mark Savlov's review for the Austin Chronicle, he wrote, fans of Merchant Ivory will do well to steer clear of Rodriguez's newest opus, but both action and horror film fans have cause for celebration after what seems like a particularly long splatter drought. This is horror with a wink and a nod to drive-in theaters and sweaty back seats. This is how it's done. The soundtrack features mainly Texas blues by such artists as ZZ Top and Stevie Ray and Jimmy Vaughn. The Chicano rock band Tito and Tarantula, who portrayed the band in The Titty Twister, appear on the soundtrack as well. Dark Knight by the Blasters plays over the film's opening and closing credits. There was a video game for Windows on 2001. It's based on events that transpired directly after the end of the film. And then they made From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money, and From Dusk Till Dawn 3, The Hangman's Daughter. Danny Trejo is the only actor to appear in all three. And they also made a television series in 2014. Moving on to Roger Ebert's review from 1996, he gave it 3 stars. Hold on. I need to see what Sadie's chewing on. What do you got? What do you got down there? Okay. She was making a lot of noise, but it's an officially superantonio sanctioned bony bone. So that's okay. From Dusk Till Dawn resembles one of those mythological creatures stitched together out of 2 different species, a chimera, like a bull with a man's torso. In this case, we get half of a hostage movie and half of a vampire gore fest. The transition is instantaneous. For about an hour, we've been following the story of 2 mad dog killers and their victims, and then suddenly a stripper in a Mexican bar turns into a vampire, and off we go. Genre hopping like that is a specialty of the movie's writer, Quentin Tarantino, whose work sometimes resembles channel surfing. Robert Rodriguez, the director of From Dusk Till Dawn, can only be said to throw himself into the same spirit, heart, and soul. This is one of those movies you might like or you might hate, but you won't be able to deny its crazy zeal. Actually, a lot of people will hate the half of the movie and like the other half. Those who loved the brilliant invention of Tarantino's dialogue in Pulp Fiction will like the first half, especially a brilliant pre-title sequence featuring Michael Parks as a Texas Ranger who creates a whole world out of a little dialogue. Those who like the shootouts in Rodriguez's El Mariachi and Desperado will like the second half, which is non-stop mayhem in a scuzzy bikers and truckers strip joint with lots of vampires, exploding eyeballs, cascading guts, and a weapon made out of a powered wooden stake. I guess you could call it a pneumatic vampire drill. I like the first half best. After the title sequence, we get to know the central characters, Seth and Richard Gecko, George Clooney, and Quentin Tarantino. They've robbed a bank and left a trail of dead and wounded, all toted up by a TV news reporter's digital carnage readout. Shades of natural-born cancelers. Richard had helped Seth break out of prison, and now they're heading for the Mexican border with the bank loot. And Richard, who is a rabid loony, is blasting everyone in sight, including innocent bystanders. Holed up in a sleazebag motel, they take hostages a former Baptist minister, Harvey Keitel, and his children, Juliette Lewis and Ernest Liu. The minister has left the church after the death of his wife, leaving an opening for another of Tarantino's passages of theological dialogue. Now the minister and his kids are heading south in a mobile home the geckos hope to hide in while crossing the border. The minister is inclined to cooperate with the desperados. His son thinks he knows better. Dad, I watched the reality shows. The charm of the dialogue in these scenes has a lot of competition from the state-of-the-art mayhem, which leaves blood and brains spattered everywhere. Rodriguez doesn't make it very real, though, wisely handling the death of a harmless bank teller in flashes too quick to be seen, since more detail would sink the macabre mix of violence and humor. And I mentioned earlier that that bank teller is Quentin Tarantino's acting coach. In Mexico, the mobile home wheels up to the Titty Twister, a scroungy strip joint with a bizarre decor. This goes next door to Jackrabbit Slim in the Tarantino Mall. The doorman is played by Cheech Marin, who plays two other roles, popping up too often. He doesn't need the vampire plot to qualify as undead. The kidnappers and their victims go inside to await a rendezvous for a money drop, and that's when the vampire plot begins. O-Dog is here. Greetings, O-Dog. All I can really say about the last 30 minutes of the film is if you like Dawn of the Dead, you'll like this. The plot is forgotten as Rodriguez goes for violence and special effects, including people who morph into hideous creatures in the middle of a barroom brawl. There's also an outbreak of vampirism among the leading characters, and scenes owing something to Assault on Precinct 13 and Night of the Living Dead. From Dusk Till Dawn is a skillful meat and potatoes action extravaganza with some added neat touches. ER's George Clooney, making his big screen debut, shows admirable restraint in going along with the craziness without seeming overwhelmed by it. I would agree. He does a great job, and it's a surprising first film for him. But, he'd seen Pulp Fiction, and he probably saw what Pulp Fiction did for John Travolta and thought it was a good springboard, and as it turned out, it was. The good things in the movie, especially some of the dialogue, are so much better than the rest that you wish Rodriguez and Tarantino had tried to triumph over this material instead of merely delivering it. It's a pro job, but these guys can do better. All with it's always with a backhanded compliments in these film reviews, these film critics. They can't just say they like the movie. They have to complain. They have to criticize. They have to pick it apart. But I guess that's their job. Pop One says, had to make sure she wasn't eating the couch. LOL, sometimes when our farm dogs get bored, they chew up anything. One chewed a hole in the barn a few years ago. Yeah, when she was teething, she would chew on anything. And she did chew on one of the corners on the couch. And I just kind of left it there because it's cute. It reminds me of when she was little. But no, she's chewing on something that is officially sanctioned. O-Dog, greetings. O-Dog has a backache. Okay, you take it easy, O-Dog. Appreciate you being here. I was talking about our schedule earlier. The full game commentary on Friday and LA Noire on Saturday. Sunday, we are going to do a live discussion on Michael Jackson's Thriller. Then Monday, we are back to Grand Theft Auto, Grand Theft Mondays. Papa One says, I'm feeling good for an old man. Put in a hard day's work on the farm. We are still training Dixie and Glory. Also, we have been swamped due to the influx of horses due to the hurricane. Yeah, I can imagine. I had a good week, so far. It's been going really fast. O-Dog says, should have saved Thriller for your birthday. Oh yeah, the birthday stream, October 31st, a Thursday. We're going to do an Undead Nightmare stream. but it's going to be fun. But I was watching the Thriller video, music videos directed by John Landis, Animal House and American Werewolf in London, and I was just thinking about, one, how much I like it, and how much I loved Michael Jackson, and how much fun it would just be to talk about it. So I came up with it pretty much right before this live stream. How are things, O-Dog? Apart from your backache, I hope you're well. I hope everyone's doing well. Ramon was here, but I think he dropped out, Papa One. Papa One says, I did sell 3 horses today. Made a killing on them. 2 thoroughbreds that are around 6 months old. They have a famous pedigree of racing. Their dad was a Kentucky Derby winner 2 years in. And O-Dog says, how's the baby, Papa One, and the new mama? Yes, indeed. We need a full update. O-Dog says, the back is warped. Will never be right. Car wrecks before I was of age. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, O-Dog. And Ramon says, no, I'm here. Ramon's here. Ramon's just lurking in the background. Ramon is a lurker in the shadows. Watch out. You know, one of those zombies in the Thriller video kind of looks like Vincent Price. I've always thought so. And I love the idea that these zombies are just, they're perfect state-of-the-art zombies that hold up well, even like now with like Walking Dead. They look like Walking Dead zombies. However, they're all professional dancers. And, it's nice seeing them doing the zombie shuffle before they break into their and that dance sequence is so memorable. Ramon says, Michael Jackson's Thriller video started a trend of music videos that were more cinematic. I agree. And Papa One says, a row and had vets come to check on Lady Belle and her foal we named Commander. That's a nice name. Arthur the foal, which is Mama One's baby, is doing well as well. Lady Belle is getting better as she is finished with her antibiotics. And O-Dog agrees. Yeah, Ramon, Thriller was a gem. And Ramon says, I was lurking while putting away some stuff I bought. Well, now I want popcorn and barbecued potato chips. What's that about? Hey, come back up here. Pop. Come on. Let me see if I can find here. I'll show you what she was chewing on. I'll show you what she was chewing on. Oh, it's all there. This thing. Now she wants it. We can give her a carrot. Mama One, those carrots were genius. Cloudy's here. Cloudy says, greetings. Cloudy says, Kiffle Mom, my brothers and sisters. Okay, Cloudy. And he has the Vulcan salute. Live long and prosper. Cloudy, are you a Trekkie? My favorite Star Trek series is Deep Space Nine. Ramon says, speaking of The Walking Dead, I'm working on a Walking Dead costume for Halloween. Wow, what's it going to be, Ramon? Tell me all about it. Is it a typical zombie, or is it inspired by one of the characters from The Walking Dead? I need to know. What else? Oh, the antibiotics were in the milk, Papa One says. Yeah, Mama One. She loves carrots, raw carrots. I don't even have to cook them or like boil them in like in chicken stock like you do. I just feed them to, it's a stick you can chew. And what's not to love? Ramon says a surprise, and Odog has a bunch of cloudy emoticons for Cloudy. Welcome, Cloudy. What am I working on? Thinking about updated top 10 horses for John and Arthur and the top 10 forbidden horses. I might do that. Cloudy says, Kiflam is a GTA cult. You should look into it, Super Antonio. Okay, Kiflam. Let's see if we can... Mom one says, we also fitted a beautiful Appaloosa with horseshoes for a local farmer today. Every fall we replaced their shoes. So that's always fun. My mother did the carrots for our dogs when I was growing up. It's a great tip, Mama One. I'll show you in a second. I want to look up Kiflam. Oh, the Epsilon Quest. Okay. Kiflam is a term that's important to the Epsilon program, a fictional religious cult. The term holds great importance for the cult followers who consider it the name of divine being at the center of their beliefs. Cloudy says hi to Mama One and Papa One. And Papa One says, isn't Kiflam based on Tom Cruise in Scientology? Such a stupid cult, if you ask me. And Cloudy says, yes. Hold on. I'll get her a carrot. Talk amongst yourselves. Come here. Okay, she won't eat it up here, I don't think, but she loves carrots. She likes to eat them under the desk. Okay, she likes to go under the desk. Under the desk is her carrot eating spot. Anywhere I give her a carrot, she takes it under the desk. Papa One says, if you want to join a cult, just join a certain political community, and that's all I will say. Well, yeah, that is a cult, but Scientology has been very good for your career if you are if you want to be a movie star. I think it's a career move for most of those guys, I think. And Cloudy says, Papa One, the missions in GTA 5 about Kiflam are funny. And Cloudy is laughing out loud. And Ramon says, speaking of cults, has anyone here played a game called Cult of the Lamb? Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb is a roguelike video game developed by indie developer Massive Monster. Cult of the Lamb is centered around a lamb controlled by the player who is tasked with forming a cult in order to appease the deity, the one who waits. Having saved the player's character's life at the start of the game, it instructs them to embark on a roguelite-style crusades by venturing out into one of the game's 4 regions in order to defeat various enemies or so-called heretics. You play as a lamb, though? Is it really a lamb? Or is it like a human who is called a lamb? I want to see. Nope, that's a full-on lamb. Wow. Is this a mobile game? Oh, looks interesting. Cloudy says Cult of the Lamb was so fun to play. So Cloudy's played it. And Ramon says it really is a lamb. I read somewhere that the only reason that females make up almost 50% of gamers is they're counting mobile games. They don't, it's like if you take out mobile games, if you take out the phone and you go back to consoles and PCs, it becomes 90% male. Mama one says, our farm's dog, Ripper, carries a carrot around like a cigar when I give him the farm dog's carrots. He just chews it like a cigar. Yeah, that's what Sadie does. It's a stick she can eat. What's that about? What did we find? She found, God, what was that? Oh, yeah. Oh, dog, I thought of you. She found a tray, a to-go tray, one of those, like that you would put like fries in, but it's like a tray of chicken wings, buffalo wings. I thought of you because I know you like buffalo wings. Just on the side of the road, it's like, and it, it looked to me, because there's always a story here that, someone was eating them in their car and that just opened the door and dropped it, on the curb and drove off. And one, cooked chicken bone splinter, so she can't have splinter, so she can't eat it. And two, I'm not going to let her eat trash off the ground. But, she like leapt for it, like she leapt for that Bilbo Baggins, and it must have smelled tantalizing to her, and she didn't understand why I wouldn't let her have it. It was a big tragedy for her. But yeah, I thought of you, O-Dog, because I know you like wings. Papa One says, Mama One plays BitLife. I'm not one for mobile games. I have a basic knowledge of technology. I'm surprised I was able to learn how to do this chat off my phone. We watch on Mama's iPad, but I chat through my phone. Yeah, I was wondering how you do that, Papa One. You're doing it. You handle the chat quite well. Eight viewers. Thank you, friends. Appreciate you being here. Happy Wednesday. My favorite Halloween candy, rather what I want to get for me, because I'm not going out trick-or-treating, I want to get a Snickers bar, a Twix bar, and a Reese's peanut butter cup. That's all I want for Halloween. I've been craving all three of those. I like the cookie crunch of a Twix bar. Snickers, self-explanatory. And same with Reese's, I suppose. I suppose I like the salty sweet. I also like chocolate-covered almonds, but that doesn't really count as a Halloween candy, a classic. Oh, Cloudy says, I can't wait for Pokemon TCG Pocket. It's a mobile game. I like Pikachu. Mama once says, O-Dog, it's cute to me when he does that. He has a mean name, but he's a gentle giant. He weighs 135 pounds. St. Bernard German Shepherd mix. He's my favorite of the farm dogs. He is also the easiest to give a bath and administer his vaccines. Cloudy says, payday candy bar for the win. Yeah, payday to me is too much of a good thing and not enough chocolate. I don't think there's any chocolate in it. It's caramel. It's like a caramel core wrapped in peanuts. But the peanuts aren't salted. Like if they like caramel core, peanuts, and then chocolate over that. Now that would be something interesting. Glennis Coleman, channel member Glennis Coleman is here. Glennis says, hello everyone. Greetings, Glennis. Happy Wednesday. We were talking about From Dusk Till Dawn, but now we're just hanging out. You know how it goes. I appreciate you being here. I hope you have recovered from your hurricane adventures. Looks like your power's back on and your internet's back, and I'm happy for that. Cloudy says, I love candy corn as well. You know, Cloudy, I do love candy corn as well, but I believe candy corns are basically just smushed marshmallows that have been, pressed into candy corn shape and, food colored. But yeah, I think they're like the same technology you use to make marshmallows. I think you just shrink into, to make candy corns. By the way, that's how I believe Cheetos were invented. I believe Cheetos is the froth on top of like the Doritos mix that they accidentally cooked. And then somebody like Homer Simpson was like sweeping him off the floor and tried it and was like, this is good, and took it to the supervisor. Supervisor tried it and took it to the board. And the board was like, this is genius. What shall we call it? Tastes like cheese and was on the ground and kind of tastes like toes. Let's call it Cheetos. That's genius, Warren. Everybody gets a bonus. Except the Homer Simpson janitor did not, the true inventor of Cheetos, did not get a bonus. What's that about? That's not a very Halloween appropriate story. Mom once says, dinner tonight was ham, rice, and homemade gravy, turnip greens, biscuits, broccoli, and German chocolate cake. Oh, everyone is invited to Mama One's house. She makes the best meals. Papa One says, I finally found the guy who is keeping candy corn in business, LOL. I saw a funny Halloween meme that said something like, drugs are expensive. No one is handing them to your kids. And Glennis Coleman said, yeah, just wait for the piles of tree limbs everywhere to get picked up by anyone who needs firewood, LOL. Well, I'm glad you're back to, I hope you're glad you're back to normal, Glennis. I'm glad you're here. We missed you. Glennis says, I like candy corn as well. Sounds good, Mama One. Yeah, if they came in like individual packs, you have to buy like a whole pound of them. I don't want to commit to eating a whole pound. I hate throwing away food. Even candy corn. If you could buy like an individual pack, I would like candy corn. And Cloudy says, is The Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie? It's a little bit of both, Cloudy. I think it straddles the transition. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Mom once says, thanks, Glennis. I always try to make good meals. You always make good meals. You don't try. And Mom once says, dinner for our family is always a celebration. Yeah, I love that about you. I mean, what a wonderful way to live. What a wonderful way to approach life. Instead of just like me, who had a peanut butter sandwich for lunch. Only because I was super busy and didn't have time to go out or to go to the grocery store, and that's all that was in the house. And fortunately, someone who was under the desk loves peanut butter and pretty much loves anything I eat. So she was very happy. Glynis says, yeah, we had beefaroni and sourdough bread. I like sourdough bread. Here's Sadie Glynis, in case you didn't see her. She found some chicken wing bones on the street and would not let her have them. And she thought it was an American tragedy. Mom once says, ever watch When Good Ghouls Go Bad? It's my son's favorite Halloween movie from childhood. It has Joe Pitler, a child actor who's been missing since 2006. Interesting how you get your true crime fix out of Good Ghouls Go Bad. Never heard of it. And Ramon Sanchez says, I like the brioche hamburger buns at Trader Joe's. I like anything brioche. I like the brioche buns at Cheesecake Factory. And Glennis says, hey, Sadie. Sadie's drinking water. Let's see. That is a long plot. Wait, Christopher Lloyd is in it. Joe Pitler, a former child actor. He was in Beethoven's Third and Fourth. Disappeared January 5th, 2006. Last seen on January 5th, 2006. According to the Charlie Project, the friends who saw him stated he was in good spirits with them. His car, a silver 2005 Toyota Corolla, was found on January 9th at the intersection of Wheaton Way and Sheridan Road. He was reported as officially missing by his family on January 16th. According to the family statements to the media at the time, the last outgoing call on Pitchler's cell phone was placed at 4:08 a.m. to a friend who had said that he had been visiting with Pitchler earlier in the day. According to the Associated Press, Pitchler's family stated that a note found within the car expressed a wish to be a stronger brother and asked that the personal effects of Pitchler's be given to a younger brother. But the family did not characterize this finding as a self-cancellation note. Sounds like one to me. Robbie Davis, the lead detective on the case, told the Associated Press that there's a good indication that it might have been a self-cancellation, but we don't know that, adding that there was no reason to suspect foul play. His body has never been found. So either self-cancellation or accident or how old was he at the time? 87, so he was like 19-ish in 2006. Maybe human trafficking, maybe alien abduction. Cloudy says, I think I watched that movie when I was a kid. It was on the Disney Channel. Hop, hop. Hop, hop. That's about all I have for you tonight, friends. But I encourage you to hang out. I got you can watch a little Undead Nightmare. Let me set that up for you. Here we go. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Pop One and O-Dog and Glynis, channel member Glynis Coleman. Great talking to you, Cloudy and Ramon. We shall return on Friday with the Bad Honor free roam and full game commentary. We will have LA Noir on Saturday. Sinister Sundays, again, will feature a live discussion on Michael Jackson's Thriller. And then Grand Theft Mondays, as always. Glenn says, Mama once says, stay with us, Superantonio. It's a party. Yes, I want you to enjoy the party, but my voice is going. That's what happens. But hang out. I encourage you to talk amongst yourselves. I love the community that you and I have built together here. We shall return on Fridays. On Fridays, we sort of free roam, but actually work on the full game Bad Honor commentary. Shout out to absent friends, Serena and Miko and Marco. Thank you so much. And like and subscribe, and we shall see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your week. See you Friday, friends.